Welcome to another episode of the Stripes and Strings podcast. It is our 4th episode, and we are super awesomely blessed and just overall grateful to have Mr. Shane Smith on the podcast with us.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, man?
Just hanging out, man, recovering from yesterday, as I'm sure you are as well. I had way too much fun last night. Probably had a couple of too many beers, and thank God I got off early today.
No, absolutely. I went to bed. The sun was coming up when I was going to bed. And I'm not feeling good either.
Yeah, I know how that goes. For the listeners out there, you know, if you seem a little confused why it may be a little noisy, we're actually on the back patio of the Blue Light. So there's a few people walking around and shuffling chairs and having their drinks and talking and stuff. So there's going to be a lot of background noise, but hopefully you can still hear us all pretty well.
Yeah. We've got a regular old shindig going on all around us right now.
Absolutely, man. And you know, as somebody who's been a regular here at Blue Light for a long time, it's awesome to get to see you guys here. You know, it's awesome. You know, it'd be awesome to see y'all anywhere, but just get to see you. It's kind of like home field advantage.
Oh, dude, yeah. This is such a cool room. Playing this place is so much fun. It reminds me of like a bigger version of the Golden Light in Amarillo. You know, It just has that vibe. There's something about it. Whenever you play there, it's always kind of packed out, or hopefully,
Yeah, it's like a partying listeners
party.
crowd.
Just everybody's engaged. That's the absolute best shows you could ask for. We do better in smaller venues than we do bigger. I mean, and I'm sure a lot of bands are like that, but it's like the whole tightness aspect. You know, we love being in a little bit smaller rooms.
Yeah, well, it has to. Well, from the performing perspective, it has to give you more of an intimate feel for sure.
Right.
These people are here for us and for what's going on right now, and everybody in this room is affected by the energy.
Yeah.
Where some of the bigger venues are, like an outdoor festival, you kind of lose a little bit of that.
Yeah, you've got more of a choice. At those bigger ones. With something like this, it's so in your face that like either get into it or you probably need to leave,
Exactly.
And so that's what makes it so much fun. You can kind of just yell anything once everyone's at that point.
Yeah,
they're sold, they're into it by that point.
After everybody's been corrupted and just engulfed by the overall energy of the show.
They're all possessed at that point.
Well, I think, good music is something I wouldn't mind being possessed by more often. We'll put it that way.
What's that?
I said good music is something that I wouldn't mind being possessed by pretty often.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing. If anything, music would probably be the best pick. So what's your hometown, man, for your listeners out there that may not know? My hometown is Terrell, Texas. I'm originally from Terrell. It's just outside of Dallas. I lived there till, I guess, the 7th grade. And then I moved to Kaufman, which is 20 minutes away from there. And that's where I went to high school and all that. Then I moved to Tyler for 2 years, went to junior college in Tyler, and then wound up in Austin and finished school in Austin and was playing music and looking for answers. And that's how this whole thing kind of wound up, getting put together.
Right on, man. Well, we're definitely glad that you went out looking for answers, because you're definitely throwing out some good tunes for us to listen to while we look for answers.
We're all still looking for answers, but we're glad, we're glad we decided to get out there and try something out,
Yeah, absolutely. So did you start playing music before you got to Austin, or is that where you kind of got bit by the bug, so to speak?
It was kind of like the typical 15, 16-year-old, got a guitar, tried to figure it out, that type thing. And then the difference, though, I think, was that I started listening to a lot of, like, singer-songwriters.
Right.
And I honestly, I got more sold on that type of stuff than I think I did on guitar playing. I'm not a great guitar player at all. Like, I mean, I get by just fine with an acoustic guitar or whatever, but I'm not outstanding. But the thing that I got more into was the whole songwriting and the storytelling thing. And I started listening to guys like Adam Carroll and Hayes Carl and Ray Wiley Hubbard. Ryan Bingham was just doing that.
Heck yeah, man.
Mescalito CD at that time, and anyways, I really dug the way that some of those guys could tell a story and the way that they could word things and just tell the same thing that anybody could try to talk about, but they do it in a way that's like so much cooler than they can, you know?
Yeah, absolutely,
than other
man.
people can. And so
there's some great songwriters out there, you know, Ray Wiley Hubbard and, you know, Hayes Carl, you know, sorry, I drew a blank. I'm sorry, there's somebody moving behind you. Sorry, with this crowd, I got distracted. My ADD kicked in.
No problem.
But Charlie Shafter, you know, there's some great, just like you said, you know, able to put things out. That, you know, it may just be a mental image, and they make a musical novel out of it. And it's incredible to get to see that. I haven't
gotten to listen to Charlie much, but I've heard a lot of great things about him. Actually, Ray and Judy were helping me out for a little period of time and trying to get us, you know, to get our shit together there for a little bit, and anyways, I know that Ray was working with Charlie, I believe, and I just remember hearing a lot of good things about him, but I haven't gotten to check his stuff out yet.
You need to. He's got some great stuff out
right now.
I've
heard he's a fantastic songwriter.
Oh, totally. And he had, I'm not sure if he still does his podcast. I listened to it for a while. But I'm really bad. I haven't checked the dates on any of them, so I don't know if they're, you know, recent or not. But he also has done a podcast, and it's incredible.
Oh, nice.
He's got intro music and stuff where I don't.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're still working on that. But you know, we haven't been doing this podcast very long, which is almost having a kind of a fangirl moment. Almost, it's like, you know, fourth podcast, and we have Shane Smith on. It's a huge ego boost for us here.
I'm so glad to be a part of it. I mean, you know, it means you got to understand. I mean, it means a whole lot whenever you have somebody that's wanting to put something like this together, and they believe in music and the whole. Just the stuff that you don't hear on like mainstream radio, and you know, it's not that y'all care about the business side of it. You're legitimately trying to promote good music, you know, and that means a lot to us to be asked to be a part of that project. And so I'm more than happy to do this, and I'm glad you asked. And all my buddies, you know, down in Austin, and you know, like, I mean, Zach Nightom's up here with us. He's hopped in the van to open some shows for us, and Drew Fish and those guys, and Mayu and Broussard. There's a lot of young bands in Austin that you should definitely hit up on this. I think they'd like doing it.
Yeah, no,
well.
I'd definitely like to check out the Austin scene some. I haven't been able to get down there and really check it out. I've kind of been confined to the Lubbock area mostly. Done some. I haven't done a podcast out of DFW or from anybody in the DFW area yet, but I know a few artists down there, and some down in Stephenville and Amarillo, and so I'm slowly making my way out, but Austin is definitely on the map.
You ought to do a South by Southwest edition, and come interview us down there, and we'll get our buddies to
absolutely, man. If I can get some cash together, scrounged up for some gas money,
if not, you can just hop in the van with us. I'm sure we'll be around somewhere close enough for you to catch a ride.
Now that offer's on the table, I'm sure I can pack a bag.
Yeah. But you never know. That would be pretty fun.
That would be totally awesome. I've never been to South by Southwest. Yeah. I know it's kind of a sad thing to say, but
no, I
haven't made it yet.
I've never been on. This is our first year to get on the actual lineup for it, and like for official showcases and stuff, and so it'll be a big learning experience for me. In the past, we're always just like, okay, you know, South by, let's book everything ever, you know, in Austin, and we're not, you know, we'll list it all as South by, but it's not like it's like official South by Southwest
right
stuff,
it's just,
you know?
In Austin during the whole South by thing, like, but I mean, why not corner
right
that market,
now?
you
It's
know
like,
I mean?
I know, like right now, I don't think we even have that heavy of a schedule that are official lineups, and so now I'm like, well, man, I kind of want to do what we've been doing in the past years and just book outrageous amounts of random stuff, you know, and so.
Well, I mean, you get awesome exposure, and the cool thing about playing so many different venues is you get to experience so many different crowds. You know, every venue, every crowd has a different feel and takes your, you know, music and entertainment and, you know, differently, and so it'd be kind of cool to get to just, you know, see all that different and stuff in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Our sound engineer Matt, actually, right over there, he used to mix for us whenever we were at the stage on 6th Street down in Austin, and we used to do like 4-hour residential sets like every Monday night, every Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or whatever.
Jeez,
and like,
man.
and
that's
their that was their sets. It was 6 to 10 and then 10 to 2, and sometimes we would even double up on that, where we're like doing acoustic for one and then
short little
full
break
band
and then come
on the
back
other, just trying to get money, And anyways, he was running sound there back in the day when we were kind of first doing our stuff, and the venue is now called the Palm Door on 6th Street, and they do a ton of South by showcases. And, I mean, he's mixed like Jack White, like all kinds of like huge acts that come through there, and Flaming Lips, I think he mixed last year. Who was it? Yeah, Eric Burden from the Animals.
Oh, no
like
shit.
House of the Rising Sun.
Oh,
like,
dude.
Yeah, the crazy stuff.
And Jack White and the man,
Yeah. They call it the rising sun, and it's been in ruin.
That's still badass, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've never got to share a room with Jack White, so you've already one-upped me.
Yeah.
One day, Mr. White, if you ever hear this, I will share a room with you. But so you've got a couple albums out. Coast is your second album, or am I wrong?
Okay, so when I was like 19 or 20, or I don't know how old I was. It was like 20 years old or something. I recorded an album by myself in Tyler, Texas. It was just like a solo singer-songwriter thing called I'll See the Miles. And then, with the band, like getting a band together and stuff like that, we recorded our debut full band album.
Yeah.
And that was called Coast. And that was a total roller coaster trying to get that thing finished. It took like 2 years just to like do the whole thing, because we were going back and forth. And
yeah, I've got Coast. It's a hell of an album, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you dig it. It's not the same sound as what we're doing right now, but it's I don't know. You got to go to a live show to kind of like figure out what we're trying to do, and
I'm sure
we've been working on a new record now that's called Geronimo that we're going to be putting out here fairly soon, and we haven't set a release date with it, but we're just fine tuning everything and trying to make sure that it's exactly how we want it. And I think that one's going to be a much more accurate like sound to what you hear at a live show.
A better defining sound of the band as a whole.
Yeah.
Well, but from the first album to this new album that's coming out, what do you think is one of the things that has changed the biggest for you as a songwriter and as a performer? Like, what's one thing that you think the listeners might hear as a change
in the songwriting? I think it's just like stepping out of the box a little bit, just trying new stuff. Just like it's like watching an athlete, 1 year, and then watching them 2 years later. They're probably trying new things, and whatever,
and progresses,
and hopefully they're a little faster or something like that. And I hope that the songwriting is good. I'm happy with it. I really am excited about a lot of the songs that are on there. But I think more than anything else, it's the branded. There's a much more branded sound to this one, like where there's a lot of harmony vocals in it. There's a lot of just kind of more big sounding stuff in it. I know that's totally vague and probably makes no sense at all. But,
for me it makes sense though, because there's a lot of albums that sound great, but almost sound shallow. I mean, not shallow like a perspective wise, but like literally sounds like it could use just a more an uplifting, more
just
filling sound
to it. Yeah.
And harmony vocals is a great way to do that. And I'm looking forward to hearing the new album when it drops.
I am too.
So
I'm trying. I'm still, we're still finishing it up and getting mixes and stuff like that, and so, I'm totally ready to hear the stuff myself and kind of see where we're at. But just from being in the studio and hearing it song by song when we're working on it, everybody's really excited. I think it's, we're putting a lot of effort into it, and we're trying to do it the right way, and we don't do a lot of things the right way, but we're trying hard with this to do it the right way. So.
Well, getting to build something, by hand, piece by piece, and watch it grow and watch it become, an album, or, if you're a painter, watch it become, a beautiful canvas or whatever. There's a sense of pride that you get to take behind it, and I'm not a really musician. I haven't put an album out or anything, but I can only imagine the pride that you guys get behind this. So to hear. When I hear somebody talk about their new album coming out or a new single or whatever, it's not, hey, man, I did this song, check it out. It's like, man, I put my blood, my sweat, my tears, hours. I've blown friends off. Yeah. I've missed shows. I've, done things that I've not wanted to do to make sure that this is the way that I approve of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's really cool to get to see, what people put out there.
Yeah, definitely. It's also a fine line, though, with that. You're also kind of fighting that whole thing of we've heard these songs so many times, being in the studio and playing them or whatever, that all of a sudden we're kind of like, all right, yeah, it sounds great, but I don't know that we get that same feeling, of like when you first hear it, you're just like, whoa, like everybody else kind of gets to hear it for the first time, like in its prime, whereas with us we're kind of like building it, and the house might not be as cool when you built it from the ground up, what I mean?
I totally understand, man.
Whenever you've been out there every day hammering nails and seeing it, so I'm definitely proud of the songs, though, and I think there's nothing on there that I'll regret ever recording, no matter how old I am. And that's the goal at the end of the day for me, is try to critique it enough to where, is this something that I'll enjoy as an old man, or be proud of as an old man, and I think I will be with the stuff that's on there.
Well, from what I've heard of what you put out now, you have no reason to not be proud, now or 100 years from now, man. You're kicking ass out there.
I appreciate it. We've been working hard, man, and we've gotten a lot of great opportunities. This spring, we've got a lot of really awesome stuff coming up. I was telling you, South by, obviously, that was a great thing for us.
What else y'all got going on?
We've got tomorrow. We're actually playing a big festival in Dallas, Texas Mardi Gras.
Okay.
And that's thousands and thousands of people show up to that thing, and we got an inside stage show, and it's they've got like Turnpike, Randy Rogers. Everybody is playing that thing, and so that was really exciting. Last year we played it and we were on the outside stage. This year we got on the bigger
inside
stage, and so that's exciting. And then we've got let me think here. We made it on Chili Fest in College Station. That's super exciting. We made it on Larry Joe Taylor, which is really exciting.
I will
see
you at LJT. I've already started putting money back, man. I'm gonna be there.
Awesome, man. You gotta get tickets. You gotta get there. That was a huge goal as well. We were on Steamboat, Colorado this year. That was really exciting for us.
All the changes that have happened in Colorado lately.
It was so cool being up there. We've worked for 2 years, literally going up there for free, just playing all day at this place called Slopeside Grill. That's this restaurant where everyone has to ski past it. And I essentially begged our whiskey sponsors to give us an endorsement 2 years ago before Steamboat. It was probably October or something 2 years ago.
Right.
And I talked them into it, and they did these promo CDs for us where we could hand them out up there. And, man, as a result of that, it made such a huge difference because we were up there playing, blaring music, just me and my fiddle player, Bennett.
Right.
Up there acoustic on the mountain, and we were just handing out CDs left and right, left and right, left and right. And then last year we did that again. Got a ton of attention last year as well from it. I actually met Corey Morrow up there through that.
That's awesome.
And he had me go do a song swap with him and Cody Johnson that night. And I didn't have a pass or anything.
Right.
I couldn't even get on the ski lift to go play the gig.
He pretty much just grabbed you and threw you on the lift and was like, he's with us.
Yeah, well, Peter Link, thank God someone had Peter's number, and they called him, and they're like, this kid has a guitar, and he's trying to get on the lift, and he doesn't even have a pass. I think it's bogus. And he's like, get him on here. They're supposed to play in 5 minutes or whatever. And so, anyways, it worked out, and so all that to say, it was a lot of work trying to get on that bill, and so it meant a whole lot. Finally getting on it this year, and we had a full band show at Bear River up there. I don't know if you've ever been up there before. But
I haven't. Well, I've been to Steamboat, not for the festival, but I've been to Steamboat, and it's been a good number of years. I'm young, but I was pretty young even then when I went. So
one of the venues is called Bear River, and it's not a huge place, but it's all seated. Everybody usually just stays seated the whole show, and then there's people standing way back in the back. It's just super cool. I've seen like a lot of bands playing there, and that's just kind of the way it's been. And it was the neatest thing. But it was like 6 songs in to our show. We played this tune that was really upbeat, and then a couple of people stood up, start just kind of keeping the beat and like yelling, and then we were just like, "No, y'all all get up!" And sure enough, every person in that whole place didn't sit down again the rest of the show, and it was just crazy because it's meant to be like almost an intimate type of setting,
like a sitting listening room.
Yeah, and it was just the coolest thing because that's like I was saying earlier, we live for that. Like
that energy,
the energy, having people into it that are it's in their face, it's right there. That's what we're all about, and so that was so cool. That got us a lot of buzz up there. And
I bet, man. Is that probably one of the most energetic shows that you've played, or is there another one that you have that comes to mind?
I think that was probably, that one goes down in the books as one of our probably favorite shows to play, just because we're in such a foreign place for us. It's not like we're touring around the world or across the country even.
Right.
To an extent, we go and do stuff like that, but being up there in Colorado and being just kind of totally out of our element and having such a good response was a cool feeling. It kind of was right at the end of the trip, so it was like the perfect ending, to the trip. So
heck,
it was cool.
Man. That's pretty awesome.
It was great.
So what are some other venues that you have that may come to mind that are just have an overall good feel?
We played House of Blues in Dallas last week with Corey Morrow, and that was one of the coolest things ever. That venue is incredible. Playing the main room at House of Blues that was so much fun. And I would say, but now it's polar opposite of like a Golden Light, which we also love just as much.
Golden Light's awesome. I'm a native New Mexican, and part of being a native New Mexican is you're a snob when it comes to green chili. It's not all equal. It's not the same. Even if it says Hatch Green Chili, that doesn't give it a seal of approval. And I've lived in Texas for about 5 years-ish now, give or take, and it's so hard for me to find places that I approve of the green chili. Yeah. Where I can go and I'm like, get the green chili burger, man. Like, do it. And I have confidence behind my statement. But Golden Light, I cannot go there and not have the green chili bacon cheese fries. I can't. I just cannot.
Dude, I gotta hit that up. I don't think I've ever had that.
Yes. Next time you do
it. That's miraculous.
I approve of their green chili. If you want a burger,
you approve of their green chili. All right.
I'm beyond approve of their green chili.
Done and done. And I will say this. That sounds a lot like something at like Eskimo Joe's in Stillwater. Have you ever been up there before?
I haven't.
Eskimo Joe's has some bomb cheese fries.
Anybody
that's played there would totally just be like nodding their head yes right now if they were like looking in on this. Seriously, great cheese fries. And I'm going to hit those cheese fries up.
Oh, you have to, man.
I wish I could have yesterday when we were in Amarillo, but...
Well, if I'd have known that y'all were up there, I probably could have sent a message to somebody.
Yeah, you should have sent me an AOL SMS or something. You should have let me know on that.
Oh, I will remedy that next time you're around. I'll remind you. I'll follow your social media a little better
No, you're good.
But speaking of social media, you're on Facebook, right?
Yeah, definitely. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that. So it's all just / Shane Smith Music.
Right on, man. And what all music formats are you found on? Like, people can buy your music and stuff.
Oh, like where can they find the music?
Yeah, like iTunes or Reverb Nation,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Spotify.
It's on iTunes. It's on Spotify. It's supposed to be on Pandora. And obviously, you can go to our website, shanesmithmusic.com, and that's...
You can listen to the whole album there pretty much, right?
Yeah, you can. You can listen to the whole album there, and you can also see the tour dates. You can see our contact information for our, radio and booking and all that stuff. And that's a good navigation space,
Do y'all have any merch for sale on the website?
Yes, we do. We've got an online store there, and we've got an online store on our Facebook page as well.
Cool, man. What all do y'all have, catalog-wise for your merch right now?
Right now, we've got posters, we've got koozies, we've got T-shirts, and that's it right now. And CDs. I'm an idiot. Good call. CDs. Yeah. Matt caught me.
Right on, man. Well, if any of the listeners out there get a chance to catch Shane Smith, live in concert, do not forget to swing by the merch booth because, I've said this before on the podcast, and I'm going to try to say it every podcast. So if y'all get tired of hearing me say it, I'm sorry. But, buying albums from artists at live shows, buying merch, buying, CDs, koozies, T-shirts, all that, it puts gas in the vans. Yeah. It puts heads in hotel beds. Yeah. It's what gets these guys down the roads. Gigs pay. Album sales pay, but your merch is a huge
merch
part
is vital. It really is. It's
part
completely vital to everything staying afloat. And we've got a cool support system down here, in Texas and Oklahoma and Kansas, this whole area. A lot of people seem to get that, Like I'll have fans all the time like, well, I got that shirt. I'll get another one from a friend. I don't care. And I'm like, oh, well, thanks. And he's like, oh, anything. I know this gets y'all down the road, And so it's like, that's awesome. I mean, that helps a ton.
No, it does totally. I was a tour manager for a while, and part of being the tour manager is you help get everybody set up. You set up the merch booth, and that's where you stay the rest of the night until you're needed.
All right.
And so, that's one thing I noticed. Is 7 minutes. Cool. That's one thing I got to notice about doing all of that was that it's such a big part of the deal, merch is. But
yeah, totally. I mean, it's one of those things that I really, if that was just out of the equation, I really don't know if we'd be able to just keep going strong. Like guys would be having even more of a pay cut. I mean, it'd be very difficult. So definitely. Come hang with us at the merch booth. That's the other thing is if you want to just hang out, we're all about shaking hands and talking and getting to know our fans. That's the whole deal. The wave that we're a part of is this whole independent, making a record yourself and doing it yourself, and so it's all about personal relationships at that point, and we are all about that.
Right on. Well, so Coast, obviously the single has been out. What else do you have out right now that is just that's getting a lot of good radio play?
Right now we've had Dance the Night Away has done really well for us.
Great tune.
And we're about to be pushing another one that's actually off the new album. And so Dance the Night Away did great things for us, especially in like Fort Worth and up here, and it's great. Here, our local station, 105.3, the Red Dirt Rebel. We play you a lot, man. We're big supporters of what you do down here. Dave Wild and those guys are the jam. They have helped us out so much, and I can't thank those guys enough. Yeah, David's helped me out with this podcast a lot as well. So a shout out from me and Shane both to Mr. David Wild out there right now. Mr. David Wild. He'll be here tonight. Oh, absolutely. We'll have to have a couple of drinks with him. Oh, that's a given. But do you have any sponsors or anybody that you would possibly like to plug? I hate to cut this short, man, but you've got to get on there and play. Yeah. Well, we work with Rebecca Creek Whiskey and Shannon Rock Vodka, Gruber Cabs out of Oklahoma. They build custom guitar cabs and pedal boards. And, I mean, Kenny is like the coolest guy in the world. If you need anything like that, I mean, hit him up. He's in the same thing with us. He's trying to make his dream come true, and this guy is just more talented than I can ever explain over the phone. The stuff that he puts together for us is unreal. And also Straight Music down in Austin, they help us out a lot with our gear and things like that. we're actually just now starting to work with Ariat Boots, and that's exciting. And
hey, never hurts to get a free pair of footwear.
Yeah,
man.
I know, it never does. And also Yeti coolers have helped us out and kept our food and drinks cold. So
right on,
definitely, man. Check those companies out if you can, because they're helping us out.
Absolutely, man. Okay, so before we go, I've got one last question. I want a crazy just road story, just that, you know, one little.
Okay, I got the perfect story,
yeah,
but I'm gonna have to speed through it.
No, that's
We've
fine.
got. Okay, so back in August, we went out to a buddy's ranch to do like a songwriting session and try to get some stuff done for this whole record and the idea of the album. And we're going out there. My buddy wasn't there. We had never been there before. It was outside of Mason, and I can't. We get all the way out there. We start losing cell phone reception. It's pitch black outside. We get out there around 11 o'clock or 12 or something, and he's not answering his phone. And so we have no idea where to go other than some vague directions. I call my brother because he had been there, my older brother Connor, and he's like, oh, yeah, I think you go down this road, and then I think you go past this big oak tree that's in the road, and then it should be like the next one right there. And so finally those directions work, and we get to this gate, and it matches everything, and we're like, okay, well, we're here. And we're like, but the gate code isn't working, and we finally get a hold of my buddy, and he's like, no, this is the code. I'm pretty sure. Maybe my dad changed it. I know. You know what? Just shoot it off. Just shoot the lock off. Screw it. And we're like, okay. I mean, we can do that. We've never done that, but can you just shoot metal like right point blank, and that's just a cool thing? You know, does it work like the movies? And so essentially, we shoot this thing like 3 or 4 times, and it's just not budging at all. So we decide to pick up.
Do you happen to remember what brand of lock that is? I may need one of those.
It was a master lock. Yeah, I don't know. They accordingly they make great locks. I mean, they're 38 approved.
Shout out to Bulletproof Master Lock.
Yeah, shout out. Quick shout out. But anyway, so we were like, all right, the only way to get this thing open is to lift the gate off the hinges. This gate is like 2 of these like fence that's right here. I mean, it's massive height.
Right.
Huge, pipe fence. We lift it up, too heavy to carry once we had it up, and it got unhooked.
Yeah.
Falls down, breaks our bass player's like toe, and then so we're all like, God dang it, but it worked. It broke the lock, and everything was cool there. We drag it off, we drive in, we get it back on its hinges, fix it all up somehow. I don't know how, but we got it on there. And we're driving around on the ranch, and we're a good ways deep in this ranch, and we're just like, we're having a hard time finding the house, whatever. We just passed a picnic table up against the little dirt road, and he's just like, dude, there's no picnic table on our ranch, man. We don't have a picnic table. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? He's like, no, dude, you're on the wrong ranch. That's not our ranch, dude. And it's like 2 in the morning at this point. Like all the effort that we've been shooting guns and stuff like that, I mean, you just don't do that on other people's property in the middle of nowhere in Mason, Texas.
Yeah, and so you might wind up a target. You never know.
Regardless, though, we all freaked out, and we're like pulling a trailer over cactus and like just hauling, trying to get out of this thing, and it works out. And I'm sorry, I owe somebody a master lock in Mason, Texas, and I hope no one like burglarized their property, but that's my bad if someone sends you an email like, that was my ranch, they stole my cars or something.
I'll make sure to forward the message to you.
Yeah, all right, well, very good. But yeah, that's probably that's a good one off the top of my head.
Well, that's fucking awesome, man. That's a pretty awesome story.
Yeah.
But by no means do you condone shooting other people's locks or anything.
No way.
But hell of a story. Great memory to tell the kids one day.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Well, guys, thanks for tuning in and listening. Again, we've had Mr. Shane Smith of Shane Smith of the Saints on for the podcast today. Check out all of his social media outlets. He's on the Twitter, the Facebook, the Instagram, and ShaneSmithandTheSaints.com or ShaneSmith.com?
It's ShaneSmithMusic.com.
ShaneSmithMusic.com.
But yeah, Shane Smith and the Saints is a band. Google it. Check us out. Be sure and add us on Facebook. And we hope to see you at a live show.
Heck yeah, man. And y'all don't forget to come check him out live at any upcoming dates. You can check all of his upcoming tour dates on the website. And like and share everything that we're doing here with Stripes and Strings. Don't forget, we're all about live Texas music and just progression of this scene and real music. So y'all stay tuned in and sure to check us out next week. Thanks, y'all.